Good morning, good morning. This is Miss JJ Diamond, Jacqueline Richardson, Deja, Jackie, whatever y'all call me. Ooh, we want to thank God that we are alive today. My Monday today is not as bad as it was last Monday, guys. I actually feel pretty good today. Y'all know I work a hard weekend, so but I'm good. I'm good. I'm thankful. I'm thankful this morning. And the weather here in Charlotte is really wet. We had rain all weekend, y'all. I got caught in the rain at work a couple of times and was soaking wet. I thought I was gonna wake up with a cold, and I didn't. I'm so thankful, but I'm still, continue to do what I do. Detox every day. Take my teaspoon of honey, my vinegar, my turmeric, everything that I do. Keep eating my pineapples, my tangerines, mandarins, all that good stuff. So, ask yourself if you can get wet in the rain, okay? Because some people get wet in the rain and they cough the next day. So you ask yourself, can I get wet in the rain? And if you can't, you need to get to work on your health. Well, today, guys, I wanted to talk about how to become an activist. I see a lot of people out here trying to be activists. Okay, and I don't knock them. I don't knock them. You can't become something if you don't know how. Granted, I've been in this activism game for over 30 years. Okay, I left for a little while, and then I came back. I'm gonna run down, and this might have to be a two-part podcast, maybe even three. I don't know, depending on how much I can get in on here. But I see a lot of these people trying to become activists, and they're getting shut down. They're getting shut down, and they don't understand why. And becoming an activist is not something that you just wake up and go outside and say, I'm going to become an activist because I've been through something. Okay? Majority of the activists, okay, now we're not talking about just regular nonprofits versus activism. Okay, it's two different things, people. It's just like with me, I hold a nonprofit, okay, to be able to get sponsors and funding legally. Okay? Granted, it's two different things. Okay? Majority of, and this is today, and then I'm going to go back. Okay? Majority of the activists today are pastors. Okay? Reason being, and I'm going to tell y'all, because the activist, okay, was the one that was able to bring forth the people of the community, okay? Now, you ever went into a community now, it's not going on too much today. However, that activist is the one that stands toe-to-toe with any other organization, okay? Meaning the police department, the churches, any organization that wants to come forth to the community. Okay. Now I'm going to go back 30 years. Okay. Now I got 30 years under my belt, if I give or take, because I believe I started at age 20. Okay, if I believe full life activism. I started at 20 years old, I'm not mistaken. Okay, being able to stand up in front of people and talk to them and bring them together. Okay, and that's the key, bringing the people together. Okay, we're gonna talk about the number one things that we never do. Okay, activists never do. Okay, one, we never put the people of the community down. We try to help them, okay, any way needed possible, if we can give them that help. Okay? Two, we never and I'm going to say this again, we never meet with the police. Okay? Never. And if we do it on solid ground with our entourage. And they know that. This is the way it works. Okay? We never go behind closed doors with the police department. Okay? Never. We don't even deal with the police. Okay? When the police come into our communities and we are activists and something bad has happened, they must talk to us and tell us what's going on. Okay? So we can try to find some type of resolution for the situation. Now, we are human just like anybody else. Okay, we live life just like anybody else. We go through problems just like anybody else. But we have taken that stand, okay, to say that I'm clean enough to, and when I say clean enough, meaning you're not out there running wild, doing craziness, and then you expect to stand in front of the police and say, hey, you can't do this, or let me just talk to these people for a minute so we can try to resolve this thing without anybody going to jail. Okay, because that's what we do. We try to keep our community in peace. Okay, we don't want nobody going to jail. We don't want nobody getting hurt. We want everybody to be happy. Everybody to be able to take care of their families and live a normal life. Yes, we go through hard times, and when you go through hard times, we either go to our government, and if our government can't help us, that's when we go to our nonprofits, and if our nonprofits can't help us, then we try to go to the community and say, hey, I'm going through this. Can y'all help me out? And this is where we come together as a community to help this particular person. And the activists will be the one to make that decision, okay, if that person should get the help that's needed, okay? Once you're able to bring all the people together in the community, it starts to broaden its horizons because now people want to know you. Okay? They want to see what you're about. You got some people that like, okay, you're an activist. I know you don't get funding like that, so here you go. You know what I mean? But then that's when it becomes illegal. Okay? When they're constantly giving you money to put back into the community. Okay? Because money transpiring from one hand to another, especially in checks, because some people come bring you a check and say, hey, take this check and do something with the kids. We see you out here doing something, or, do some dinners for the people, give them some Thanksgiving this or whatever. Most of the time, I do it out of pocket because I've always been able to make some money, or able to make the money that was needed to give back if needed. You know what I mean? And then I would file it on my taxes. And I still do. I still do it. I still come out of pocket. Like around the holiday times, I make pies for the people in the community, and that comes out of my pocket. I want to make sure everybody has a beautiful pie on their table on Thanksgiving morning. Even though most of them, I give it to them before Thanksgiving and they eat it before Thanksgiving morning. It kill me with that. But gotta love them, you know what I mean? That's my community here in North Carolina. But I'm going to go back a little bit. Now, when I was young, I was more into watching the youth grow, in the Bronx. And I'm going to talk about the Bronx. Watching the youth grow. And I'm going to go back to Harlem. I'm sorry, I got to go back to Harlem first. In Harlem, every year, the pastors, the activists, and they will all come out, especially in the summertime, talk to the people, have events. And that's when you can bring the people together because it's summertime. The kids are out of school. So they have more access to the people, you know what I mean, to see what's going on in the community, you know what I'm saying, to see where the community is hurting. Okay, so back in my Harlem days, okay, right along with my Bronx days, because I was in Harlem just as much as I was in the Bronx, they would come together and bring out the bouncy houses and go get clowns and barbecue And that gave the community a chance to mingle together. Okay? And then when they did that, not only that, the activists came out and the ministers came out. You know, the ministers and the activists, they kind of stick together a little bit because activists is trying to fly straight to be a leader for its community. And the pastor, of course, is straight because, you know, totally because he's a pastor, supposedly. Okay, we seen where not all pastors is all that great. But if you know the pastor in your community, you know that they're a good person. They ain't out here smoking, drinking, partying, fornicating, shooting, killing people, you know. And this is the other thing about an activist, okay? Okay, and this is why a lot of us don't become ministers, but then you have a lot of us that is ministers, okay? One, you got to be able to connect with the people. That's number one, okay? Number two, you got to let the people know that you ain't going to take no bull crap, okay? That's number two. Number three, okay? You got to know how to fight, okay? If you don't know how to fight, because there's going to be people that might come at you, okay? 4, you can't be scared to bust your guns, okay? Because, I mean, you got to make sure it's licensed now. You can't be afraid to bust your guns because you might have some people that's going to try to come at you or come at the community, okay? And you got to be there with the community to help the community, okay? But you got to be licensed. Remember that, okay? Because we don't want nobody going to jail. Don't think you can go out there and get your gun and be shooting at people and, you know, or running through, you know, the community with the gun. And, you know, now in my community, I have a few licensed, and I'm licensed myself. I have a few licensed carriers. So, you know, if I need them, they're there, you know. And I'm also licensed myself, you know. That's here in Charlotte. You know, not in every state you can get licensed to carry. You know what I mean? So this is one of the states. And I'm thankful. Okay? Because some of these people out here is crazy. You never know who's coming in your community. You know what I mean? And this is real life, y'all. This is real life. We live this every day. And you have activists not only in the ghetto communities or the hood communities, you have them in the suburbs as well. You know, you're always going to have that one person that's going to stand, okay, and say, hey, hold on. That don't sound right. My people say they don't like that. You know, not everybody has that voice. Not everybody has that connection. So that's why it's called a gift. Okay, they say that we have a gift. Okay, that we are able to say, wait a minute. My people saying that they, you know how people whisper in the ear a little bit. What? You ain't feeling that? Okay. You either? All right. Hold on. And then that's when, you know, you stand up and you say, hey, no, we're not feeling this. We're going to fight for this. Okay? Hey. Yep. Love ya. We, as activists, work on helping the community instead of judging the community. Okay? Yeah, we're a little bit different because we may not use drugs. We may go to work every day. We may not party the way, you know, the others do, you know. We stand pretty much alone, okay, because we are different. But we're able to connect with the people. And that's what makes the difference, okay? You know you've made it as an activist when you start getting invitations, you know, to come here, come there. When you brought the mayors out, you know you've made it, okay? I brought the mayors out two separate situations, 2 separate times, 2 different cities, you know, based on how I felt about a situation, whether I did it via social media or real life, okay? Brought the mayor out in Buffalo, New York, and I brought the mayor out in Baltimore, okay? Once you've connected with the government, okay, and the mayor, the governor, and all of them are the government, okay. Those are the people that we deal with, okay. We don't deal with police and all that. We don't deal with that, okay. We just want to make sure that they don't hurt our people, okay. That's the key, you know, and try to resolve, you know, any issues that's easily resolved without a person going to physical jail. Okay, now if you out here doing some crazy nonsense, robbing people, and or running up on people, you know, with a nasty attitude, and we can't control you by any means, they may have to take you because now you're breaking too many laws, and I can't stop them because there's still rules. We still have rules we have to follow. Okay. But if it's something minor, you know, because people go to jail for the most minor things today, you know. And so this is the other thing. We got to get the police department back into doing this. And see, before, when I was coming up, and it's a lot different today. When I was coming up, they had police for each area. And that police officer walked that beat or rode that beat every single day. Okay? So we knew who our police officer was. The police officer knew the community. Okay? You would stop and speak, say with the activists or some of the leaders of the community, and let them know, hey, I'm the policeman on this beat. If you need me, you know, pretty much just holler, you know, because I'm walking back and forth or whatever the case may be, riding back and forth, or call the 911 and I'll be right here. Okay? Because we don't only need the police for crime. Sometimes we need the police for other things. You know, your child can get sick. Somebody can get hurt. You know, sad as it may say, we call the police for our cat in the tree. You know what I mean? So this is just what it is. The police is there to serve and protect. It's not only to and I think we're getting out of the realm of what the police are there for. You know, not only for crime people, they're still there to help us. Okay, so we can't just totally shut them out. Like, okay, we don't want to deal with the police. We'll help ourselves. Sometimes we can't help ourselves. Okay, and we need to make that 911 call. Okay, and the police will be the first to show. Okay, and sometime if it were here and shout out to the fire department, love you guys. Here in North Carolina, the fire department is always the first to show. So, you know, I love them. I know if I'm burning over here, they're coming. Okay, I know that. Okay, but then, like I said, you know, the police is normally the first to show, and we have to be able to find a medium. Okay. And that's where the community activist comes in at, you know, to try to find a medium that, you know, my community, don't hurt my people, please. You know what I mean? This is where we come to that medium. If there's something going on, you know, where they did some criminal activity, I have no other choice, and you have no other choice. If you've done the criminal activity and you know, and I'm talking to you and I've told you, but what you're doing is wrong, you need to stop, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to tell on you, but you need to stop. Because I can't save you when the police come. Okay? Because they got a job to do too. Okay? Now, I want to try to talk about, and I'll give y'all some different scenarios in my next podcast, which will be tomorrow. I will give y'all, because this one is not going to last. I know it's not going to last. How do activists get money? You know, a lot of people are wondering, how do activists get money? Activists get money on whatever they work on. Okay, or what they do. Okay, this is how we get money. Buffalo, I used to sell plates of food, you know, get the money to have parties for the kids. You know, I would keep the kids off the street every Friday, Saturday night. If it wasn't me, because we had two sides of Buffalo. We had a real nice side, and then we had the ghetto side. But I mingled with both sides. Okay. Reason being is because when I first came to Buffalo, my brother lived on one side, and then I moved to another side. So I mingled with both sides. And like they decided to help me because they knew it was kind of hard for me to have these parties for these kids every weekend. So they would start having parties on the other side. And we would keep the kids off the streets. Okay? And the police actually loved it. You know, they physically came up to me and said, hey, up at Buffalo, they call me Deja. Hey, Deja, we love you so much. And I'm like, well, thank you, but why? You know, because you're keeping these kids safe. You're keeping them off the street. You're making sure they get home. You know, we watching. You know, and that's why I always tell people you never know who's watching. Okay? You never know. Okay? Now, all that time, I never knew the police was watching me. But they were. And they knew on Saturday night, them kids was going to be in my house, listening to their music, dancing, you know, eating, having a good old time. And then every week, all week long, I'm either getting sponsors coming through, dropping me off a couple of bucks, or selling my plates. Okay? This is what I did. Okay? This is how I lived my life in Buffalo. I made sure that them kids were safe because a lot of kids were getting killed, a lot of kids were getting snatched. Kids were just going through things at home, you know, and I would be that one that would go to their parent, you know, and say, hey, I'm having a party for the kids, you know, they'll be with me. You know, I'll take that responsibility that I will bring your child home safe. Okay, I'm the overseer. They're not going to be out here doing nothing crazy. Okay, I took on that responsibility. Okay. So being that I took on that responsibility, which is a big responsibility, okay, I had to be ready for anything. So most of the time, after I set the kids up and they dancing and stuff, the other people that work with me, and I tell you, I call them my entourage, which they were, because we all walked in a pack and we were all together at all times. You very rare saw us by ourselves, and if we wasn't going too far, and the rest of us was somewhere close by. Okay. So I would take on this responsibility, and I would stand on my porch on Bailey Avenue, right next to Magic City. For those that knew Magic City and knew my house, I would stand on that porch. You know, and I'd be looking. You would think I was the police. I'd be looking. You know, the kid walk up. What's going on? Y'all have a party tonight? Yeah. What's your name? Okay. Where you live? Who's your mama? Okay. I need a number. I need your address. Why you need all that? I just want to come to the party because I'm responsible for you. Okay. Well, you don't want to give all of that. Well, you gotta go. You want to be a part of this. Okay. So this is how I dealt with the kids. You know what I mean? And they knew. They knew when you stepped to Deja, you stepped to Jackie. She wasn't trying to hear none of that nonsense. She needed to know everything about you and knew your parents, because if anything went down, she needed to be able to contact your people. And that's just the bottom line. So that's, like I said, when the police realized what I was doing, how I would send some off, but some could come in, it's because I knew their parents. I had their information. I was able to call them if needed. Okay, if something went wrong. And I was able to take these kids home if something went wrong. Okay. Of course, years went by of me doing this for the kids, you know, and like I said, people are watching, you know. So I went away, and I came back, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to have the parties and stuff anymore because I don't have my entourage with me to help me. Because my entourage will help me with these different things. Okay, they will help me make sure the kids were safe, make sure the kids are not drinking, make sure the kids are not getting high, making sure the kids are not having sex, you know, making sure that they're just having a good time with their friends, chilling, sitting, talking, listening to music, whatever the case may be. Well, when I went back to Buffalo the second time, I didn't have the entourage. So now I have to volunteer in order to connect with the community, you know, and that's fine. That's what you do. Most of the time, that's what you're doing anyway. You're volunteering. So that's when I started going to the community centers to do my work. Okay. Now the reason why we become activists, not only to speak for people that can't speak for themselves. Most activists has been through some things, okay, and didn't have nobody to speak for them, okay, didn't have that voice. And this is why we become who we are, because we get rid of that fear and we say, hold on, something has to end. I told y'all I was that kid in school where if you bullied me, you will regret it. So you have some people where, they think because you're timid, you quiet, you ain't gonna say nothing, and that's not the case, with everybody. I'm that one that's been bullied, but they regret they bullied me, and it's a lot of us out here like that, we just like to be humble, this is who we are, I've always been humble, always, not one of my friends can tell you I was just that wild, crazy person. Only time you will find me to be wild is when I'm on the dance floor, okay? And that's what made Jackie, Deja, Jacqueline Richardson, Jacqueline Dowdy, who she was. Because after I dealt with them kids, okay, I had to let loose. So I would go and hit the dance floor, And granted, it helped bring sponsors in, because they loved what I was doing, And then they said, oh, and she can dance. Look at her, I'm about to break her off. You know what I mean? And that's how they did it. You know what I mean? That's how I connected with the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Because I hit the dance floor, I would say Friday or Saturday night. Because I also did hair too. So when I finished doing the hair, or the kids finished partying, I'm about to hit the streets. Okay, now it's time for me. Okay, I've done stood up for three hours, with them. I made sure everybody got home safe. And I put my little clothes out, my hair done. I'm ready, So now I hit the clubs. And that was my way of getting funding for me to put back into the community. When they showed me that it was accessible. Okay? So when I saw that I can go out to the clubs and they're giving me money just to dance, not strip. Okay? Just to dance and see me have fun. You know what I mean? They said, take a load off because we know you've been with them kids all day. You need to take a load off. Come over here and eat some food. They feed me. they take care of me. Okay? Give me clothes. Okay? I had some guys, they didn't even say, what you drink? I said, all I drink is Moet. No problem, we got you. It come to the door, here you go. Here's a bottle of Moet for you, because we know what you're doing and we see it. You know what I mean? So I gained a lot of respect, not only from the kids, from the adults, because I put the work in, okay? Putting in work on social media is not being an activist, okay? You have to physically be in the community, understand what's going on, try to, as my son says in one of his songs, decipher this thing, okay? Shout out to Nate Heights, We all going to go through issues, and we all have our timing on when we're going to change. Okay, so you can't, because you are this so-called clean person and you so fly, that you better than anybody. No, I'm just like you. Okay? And this is how we connect with the people. Okay? Because don't nobody want to be going to help us to somebody that think that they're better than you. Who wants to go get help from somebody that think they're better than you? That you're going to be shot down every time you talk to them. You want help from somebody that's going to say, I understand, but you know what you got to do, in order to get this right. This is what the people want to hear. They don't want to hear you, well, if you wasn't doing this, and you wasn't doing it, you already know where you were messed up. You already know where you went wrong. You already know. You don't need people pointing the finger. But you do want somebody to understand why you constantly doing what you do. You know, your circumstances, because everybody has a story to tell. Every single person, excuse me, on this earth has a story to tell. I want to thank God right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all notice I just coughed a little bit. I haven't had to take no allergy medicines this morning. And my nose is just a little stoppy. So, you know, I feel blessed. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. I feel good. It's not too bad. You know what I mean? Where I can't breathe. Because sometimes I get to the point where I can't breathe. And then I'm like trying to breathe through my nose, but you want to keep your mouth closed. And it's like, especially when I got on that mask, it's like pure hell. But I'm pretty good today so far. So I want to thank God on that. Y'all don't know. When my allergies are feeling good, I feel so blessed. Y'all don't know. Because this is a battle I've been fighting since I was 14 years old. You know, and it's not going anywhere. They haven't found a cure for allergies other than putting the stuff in your body. And when I did my test, my allergy test in Maryland, I felt like I was going to die. So they scared me away. You know, and I haven't gotten it strong enough to go back, y'all. So, but getting back to being an activist. Now, this is the other thing. A lot of that, like I said, a lot of the activists connect with the churches, okay? And we might go out and volunteer with the churches. We might go out and volunteer with the community centers. And that's because we're able to connect with the people, okay? Sometimes churches will use activists so they can gain more followers for their churches, you know, because they know we can connect with the people. Now, I haven't felt, even though I am a Christian, and I wasn't calling myself a Christian for a long time until somebody explained it to me. You know, I am a Christian. I don't sin often, but I still have a small sin of spirit. Okay? And it's not because I want to sin, you know. However, and I saw I made that little TikTok. I need a little bit more Jesus, and I do, because I ain't ready yet. Okay? I ain't ready yet. Y'all not gonna make me this nun. I ain't ready yet. Okay? So, excuse me. This is why I personally don't want to become a minister. Okay? Because now I have to stand stronger as a leader. Okay? Right now, I'm just at the government level of leadership. Y'all feel me? You know, because they're not judged. The government level of leadership is, they're not judged on if they single, if they married. Only thing that we really judge them on is like if they on drugs and stuff, you know. Because how can you lead and you can't even have a clear thinking? You know your thinking process is not right. So we don't really judge them based on what they do. They can have 100 girlfriends. We don't care. Just make sure you run this country the right way, or you run your state the right way. You know what I mean? This is all we care about. You know. But when you're a pastor, oh God, now you gotta have a wife, and say I don't want a husband. I don't want a husband. So that's why I don't want to become a pastor. And I'm not really the preaching type. I talk to people. That's my gift. You know what I mean? I don't get out here and be no. How can I put this? Know what your gift is. Like I see some girls on TikTok, and they get on there and they, be pastoring. And I'd be like, wow, how can she do that? That's not my thing. I can't pastor. Okay, I can't get him. And I just can't. I can't even like try to fake it. You know what I mean? I can't even fake it because I can't get it. It's not for me. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? So you have to stay in your lane. What do you want to do? Do you want to pastor to the people? Or do you want to activist to the people? Okay, if you want to pastor to the people, now it's time for you to go and get your degrees in pastoring and your stuff, that you need to be able to work at churches, because just because you just because you a pastor don't mean you have to own a church. There's a lot of pastors that just go from church to church and talk to the people. Okay, so you can still be a pastor and not have a church. Okay, you could be hired to pastor for people. Have any of y'all seen Greenleafs? I don't know if y'all seen Greenleafs. If you want to get some type of understanding about pastoring, you could get it out of Greenleaf. Some people, I know pastors right now, okay, and I knew this before I saw Greenleaf. They're just pastors, and they will either have their own little events and own things, or they will go to other churches, until the community feels like you need your own church, and we're going to make sure it happens, okay? And that means they go out and start getting monies and sponsors and stuff to open up this particular pastor's church. But you don't have to have a church. And some pastors don't want a church because it's a lot of responsibility. You got to watch what you do at every moment because you're judged. That's just how the people is, So, you got to know what role you're trying to play in helping the people, That's just what it is. Now, I know me. I can't pastor. Because when I get mad, and these people get on my nerves, I'm cursing from here to kingdom come. Okay, so ain't no way I can be a pastor. You know what I mean? I'm not ready yet, y'all. I'm not ready yet. And I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean? I can't go out here and call myself studying to become a pastor when I know if somebody light that fire in my soul, I'm going off and I'm ready to, let's get it. You know what I mean? And I'm just keeping it real. You know what I mean? A girl told me the other day, she said, you look just like this pastor I know. And I said, okay, I'm thankful to look like a pastor. I'm thankful for that. That's like a compliment, But I don't have the pastor's soul yet. Okay? I don't have the... See, I'm the type of person too, y'all, and I want y'all to understand this. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to fake it. Okay? I'm not going to fake it to make the people happy. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to become this pastor, and then I got to try to fake being this person that... in actuality, I know I'm not. You know what I mean? Because if things get ugly, I'm going to get ugly. So I can't fake it to the people. I like being Jackie. You know what I mean? And Jackie is pretty much honest to the people. I'd rather do it that way. And then when I'm ready, who knows? I may be ready by the time I'm in my 60s. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm just not ready now. Okay, it's not my thing. I'm not into making people pay for God's word. I'm not. That's not me. You know what I mean? God's word is free. And if you want to understand it, okay, and you want me to take my time out to give it to you, then yeah, pay me. But, you want it on it and you craving it. Okay, you craving the knowledge, then yeah, I see you paying me. But on the road of just saying, hey, I need you to pastor and I'm going to pay you, I can't do that now because I have to be in a different type of leadership, a different level of leadership. Okay, that's worship leadership. I'm community leadership. It's two different things, people. And don't mix the two. Okay? Because this is where people start seeing you as being the type of person that might clout or power chasing. Okay? You don't want to mix the two. Okay? Now, people know with me, I'm an activist. I wasn't working for a long time. I had lost my job, lost my business. I lost everything. So I lived just like the people. You know what I mean? Lost everything. There was some people there to help me. There was some people that wasn't. Okay? God put in my heart to make music. Put your messages out through the music. Okay? You'll be able to connect with the youth and some of the people through the music or with the music, because a lot of people in communities make music. So while we're making music, we can connect, and if you're going through something, I can help you, or if I can't help you, I can help you figure it out. And that's what activism is. Just being there to stand up for the people. Now, I work for pretty much the youth, okay, the elderly, and our veterans, the military, okay. The reason why I work for the youth is because the youth don't have the knowledge and they need it, and people are not giving it to them, okay. They're going to be the ones to run this nation in the next 10, 20 years, okay. So that's why I work with the youth. Okay. The elders. I work with the elders because they have lived their lives. And they can actually teach me some things that I can take back to the youth. Okay. Not only that, they getting old, so they need help. Okay. They may need help with going to the store, or may need a little bit of money to buy some food. Whatever. I'm there. Okay. Veterans, majority of them fought for this country, okay? And a lot of them has lost their lives. A lot of them has been hurt, okay, for my life, okay? So I give them the utmost respect. They're not perfect. They're just like me. I'm going to say they're just like me. We might do a good deed, but we still have some sin in us, okay? So, with that being said, but God is still leading our hearts. And that's the thing, God knows when you are ready, when He has put you on that pedestal for you to give your soul totally over to Him and say, I'm going to lead the people in faith. Okay? It's a difference, people, because you have to live a certain type of life. Okay? You can't just say, I'm going to live in faith. I'm going to lead these people in faith, and then you out here and you purchasing with the money that they gave you, you're purchasing Lamborghinis and you're buying these big old houses, and they're struggling and you're fine. And no, it doesn't work that way, people. So that's why I say no. I'm not ready for that. And I know y'all want that, but I'm not ready for that. I like making my music. So I'm saying some so slutty things sometimes. Or talking about I might have to hurt a nigga. Because this is the reality of life. Okay? I live it every day. Sometimes you might have to, some things you gotta say. And if I'm a pastor, I can't say these things. So I'm not gonna lead in faith. I'm just gonna be an activist. And y'all have to respect that, because I still connect with the people. Okay? It doesn't matter where I go. I connect with the people because that's who God designed me to be. To be able to connect to the people because of what I've been through. The journey that I've been down. It may not even be my calling to become a pastor. This is what the people might want. Okay? But that may not be what God wants. He might want me to stay half and half, so I can pull the people closer. And then when I get them and they done had enough for me, now I can turn them over to the pastor. So y'all gotta understand what God does with us. A person that's okay, you got your people that's in faith, and they will go to their pastors and tell them some things that they have done and messed up, and they need help, they need counseling. Okay, faith counseling. But are you going to go tell your pastor, ooh, pastor, I was at the club, and I was looking at this man or this woman, and I was just lusting so bad. You're not gonna tell your pastor that.